get it? We're on?
Yep.
All right, call the meeting to order. Chris, would you call the roll, please?
Rob Brigham,
Yes.
Mike Hancock, Brett Beatty,
Yes.
Laura Iverson. Yes. Alex Shada, Renee Philmeyer. Yes.
All right, is there a motion to approve the absence of Mike and Alex?
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Chris, would you call the roll, please?
Brett,
Yes.
Laura. Yes. Renee. Yes. Rob.
Yes. All right, should we stand and say the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, open meetings law, information's on the wall. If there's any questions you can ask, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Second?
Second.
Discussion. Chris, would you call the roll, please?
Brett,
Yes.
Laura. Yes. Renee. Yes. Rob.
Yes. Okay. First action item is the 2022-2023 budget. Brandon?
Yeah, I was just going to review real quick, same statistical lineup that we shared last week at the hearing. Valuation's up over 8.33% this past year. Over the past 5 years, it's averaged 3.43% per year. General fund budget during that same time is up about 3.38% per year. Special building fund is up significantly more, almost 24% a year, but that's because it's been building, and when we build budgets, we have to show that we're expending everything. So if you put money into an account, that fund doesn't get spent out, and then you add on top of it, it looks like it's grown even bigger from that initial starting point. Levy's down over a penny. It's been down every year I've been here, about 1.66% per year over the last 5. I think it's important to remember that budget numbers and final financials, what's actually spent, are apples and oranges. You can't compare the two. Final financials are what was actually spent during the year. Budget is the amount of funds within each individual fund. When you talk about the amount that we actually expend, we hovered right around 2.5% over each of the last 5 years in expenditures. It's been up and down a little bit, but that's been the average, which I think is very commendable, and we're trying to maintain that same thing with this budget.
Okay, questions for Brandon? Is there a motion? Let's see, I'll make sure I say this correctly. Is there a motion to approve the 2022-23 budget as presented? Brett, is there a second?
Second.
Renee? Discussion? Chris, would you call the roll, please?
Brett,
Yes.
Laura. Yes. Renee. Yes. Rob.
Yes. Okay. Motion carries. Moving on to the tax request resolution. Brandon?
Each year we need to do a resolution. We've done this in the past. I'm going to turn through this as best I can. All of the information within this has been in the hearings. It's in the documents. This is just a formal resolution that we'll adopt, saying that what we're doing in the documents is the same thing that we're reading out loud. Whereas Nebraska Revised Statute 77-1601.02 provides the governing body of Water Public Schools passes by a majority vote a resolution setting the tax request, and whereas the public was given at least 5 days in advance special public hearing. Call for the purpose of discussing, approving, or modifying district's tax request 2022-2023. School fiscal year for the general fund, special building fund, and qualified capital purposes undertaking the fund of Saunders County School District number 39. Whereas such special public hearing is held before the Board of Education hereinafter the Board of the Saunders County District, School District number 39 here and after the district, time, date, and place announced in notice published in the newspaper of general circulation, copy of which notice, proof of publication of which is attached hereto as Exhibit A, all as required by law. The Board provided an opportunity to receive comment, information, evidence from persons in attendance at such special hearing. Total assessed value of property differs from last year's total assessed value by 8.33%. Tax rate which levy the same amount of property taxes last year when multiplied by the new property value would be 97.5955 cents per $100 assessed valuation. Saunders County School District number 39 proposed to adopt a property tax request that will cause tax rate to be $1.4.5547 cents per $100 valuation. Based on proposed property tax request, changes in other revenue, the total operating budget of Saunders County School District number 39 exceeded last board, after having reviewed districts' tax requests for each said fund, and after public consideration of matters, determine the final tax request is listed below. It's necessary to carry out the function of the district as determined by board 2022-2023 school fiscal year. Now be it therefore resolved that the tax request for the general fund should be and hereby is set $10,604,218. Tax request for bond fund will be 0. Tax request for special building fund should be $1,669,394. Tax request for the QC PUF should be hereby set $194,356.
Okay. Questions, comments? I think again, just as we were talking prior to the meeting starting, just to reiterate, there was the public hearing at the beginning of the board meeting last week, which was publicized. You had the joint public entity meeting last night here that included Walton Public Schools along with several other public entities. There was an open forum at that time for people to comment. Okay. So here we are this evening. It's just board action to approve. I should have said that prior to the budget. I apologize, but now moving on to the property tax resolution. So is there a motion to approve to adopt the 2022-23 property tax request resolution as presented? Brett, is there a second?
Second.
Renee, discussion? Chris, would you call the roll, please?
Brett,
Yes.
Cora. Yes. Renee. Yes. Rob.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Moving on to the third action item, the tax request. Brandon?
Yep, last thing that we will need to do tonight is approve the tax request, which was outlined in tax resolution. The only information that I would share here, total tax requests up about 2.4% each year over the past 5 years. Levies down just over a penny. It's averaged going down about 1.66% each year the past 5 years.
Questions? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the 2022-23 property tax request as presented?
So moved.
Motion is second. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's important that we share as much of a picture as we can. That's why I try to put this stuff in front of you guys. That's why I try to put it in front of the public. Try to share what we've averaged, what history has done, what we've tried to do to control the budget, which I think historically you will see this board has done a very good job of. After last night, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty disappointed in the amount or the type of misinformation that gets shared without ever trying to verify or rationalize any fact within that. This is my 7th budget. I can count on my hand count on one hand the number of times I've met with people individually to discuss budget, to discuss finances, to discuss any piece of that, let alone anybody that has approached you guys regarding budgets. I recognize the stress that's put on people when you talk the property tax issue. Nebraska has shown that its reliance on property tax exceeds nearly every state in the union. But it's what we have to deal with in order to provide supports for our students in our school districts. You keep hearing the rhetoric about, well, you've got to find a way to cut expenses. It's not a tax issue, it's an expense issue. 80 to 85% of our expenses are people. And I would argue right now we're probably understaffed in school. But the only way we're going to cut expenses is going to be to cut employees. And I don't think that's anything we're willing to entertain at this point. It's not something I would recommend at a minimum. I think you guys have been great stewards. I will continue to support your work. I hope you speak up or let me know if there's something we need to go another direction with. But you know, to have people calling you, me, us thieves or crooks or immoral or unethical, I think it's really unfair. communication so they can leave Wahoo to continue that and hopefully come back and support the community and be great citizens. So I just wanted that out there. I want to commend the work you're doing. I will do everything I can to support it. And I think we're on the right track.
Brandon, were you given an opportunity to respond or to correct any misinformation last night? It was just really one-way communication coming at you. You were not given the opportunity.
Correct.
Is there any misinformation that we need to correct specifically that you would like to? And maybe the list is long, but are there a few things that
I
you're
would-
allowed to say?
I would say the list is long. I can't reference all of it off the top of my head. I know a couple of the pieces out there. For example, when we ran the bond issue in 2018, one patron shared that he had discussed with a couple board members. The bond amount had come down, and the reason it had come down is because a bunch of classrooms were cut, but the savings was only $4 million, so why didn't we just build a bunch of classrooms for $4 million, which is not accurate. He then shared with the group that now we're trying to do a $50 million project for a building, which again is not accurate, as we've shared in open session time again. There's a patron referenced the bonuses that we pay employees on a yearly basis. He's tired of having to pay for those. And if I missed out on the bonuses, I'd like to know, but we don't pay bonuses. Everything is negotiated. It's in contract. It's straightforward. I would say there's lots of it, but there's not a lot of back and forth communication. It's a lot of speaking and hearing. If that makes sense.
Are any of these people reaching out to you directly to have that discussion, to get good information, to have the debate, which is fair?
Completely fair, and I am absolutely open to doing that. Are people reaching out? I have had a couple people reach out. If I can't be contacted, I'm out of the office, I'm in a meeting, whatever, and I've tried to reach back. It's kind of been a game. So the effort is there. I'm willing at any time to show what's going on.
Well, I appreciate you going on behalf of the board last night.
Yeah.
And being our representative. I think that was pretty consistent with all the school districts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The superintendent was the representative.
All public schools except for Cedar were required to be there. All their superintendents were there. The city, Ashland, who had to be there, their clerks were there. And then a member of the board of supervisors for the county was there.
Okay, other discussion? I believe we've got a motion and a second on the table. Am I correct, Chris? All right, will you call the roll, please?
Laura? Yes. Renee?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes. Okay. Motion carries. Any other business? Brad? Board members? Is there a motion to adjourn? Brett, is there a second? Got a second, a third, and a fourth. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Steve, thanks for joining us tonight. Do appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time, guys.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you, Chris.
We are good. Chris?
Yep.
You know,
You
as a parting
are
gift,
gonna
you're right.
need to sign. You want me to?
The street board was just created in 1990.
Okay, I'm gonna go print it off.
The commission found it unrealistic and damaging to public
Because we got
education to
voted.
expect significant decrease in school spending as a means of property tax relief. You're okay with that? You guys should read a little bit on this. This is 30 years old.
Just a second.